Welcome back, guys, and today I have a Slap Royale glove tier list. This is here so you guys can understand which gloves are the best, which gloves you could use. I'm going to explain in depth why I place gloves where they do. As well as this, these tiers, like, there's not enough tiers, honestly, in order to, like, rank all of these. So, in order to, like, place gloves where I think they belong in relation to other gloves, if I were to do this, then I think Aerialist is better than Aquarius. And then if I were to do this, Cannoneer would be in between Aerialist and Aquarius. Now, that was just an example. I don't believe what I said just now, but that is just so you guys know. So first up, I'm just going to go in alphabetical order, honestly, because these gloves are in alphabetical order. I made it very nice because I just made this tier list in like 15 minutes. It was pretty easy. And yeah, I'll include a link to this tier list in the description so you can make your own. And yeah, it's pretty easy. Alright, so Aerialist, it's honestly a bit underrated. It's not hot garbage. The extra speed can be useful, but it's still low tier for me. Um, like the extra speed and jump, it's very useful. It's just not nearly as good as the other gloves. Aquarius, I would say, yeah, it's personally above Aerialist. I honestly would say it's mid tier. Maybe in like a low to mid tier, like low to mid B. So next up, Cannoneer. This glove is very good because of the mobility. I'm probably gonna put this in a high B tier. Faculty, S tier. Third best glove in the game overall. Because keep in mind, I'm not doing this based on how good it is for detonator. I'm doing this just based on how like good the glove is in general. So mostly for wins. Because if you just think about how good a glove is at acid, you're honestly not considering enough. I've seen a couple tier lists where they include that, and it like include considering how a glove does at acid. It just makes the tier list suck, and it makes them put like objectively broken gloves down way lower than they should be. But we'll get to that. In fact, actually, we're getting to that right now. Glacier, above faculty. Now, while you'll often see many glaciers that are hot garbage at the game, the only reason you don't see Glacier being abused way more is because of the fact Witch exists, and Witch is easily the best glove. I don't even need to go in alphabetical order for this. Witch is the single best glove in Royale at the moment. It and Glacier need to be nerfed a little bit to put them equal to faculty. Now keep in mind, Glacier, while Glacier's good, Witch is better. So everyone who has Witch most of the time will be using Witch, which is why Witch goes above Glacier. Well, actually, it's not the reasoning why it goes above Glacier because it's just significantly better. But yeah, honestly, that I think that's everything in S tier. Except, I mean, Kaboom would have been in S tier had I recorded this like a month ago when it was originally released, but thank God it got nerfed. Now, I would personally put Kaboom in mid tier. It's pretty alright. It can get you out of dangerous situations. But overall, the fact that it takes away a good chunk of your health whenever you use the ability is kind of at best. It would have been, honestly, here. I wouldn't put it above Witch, even pre-nerf, but because of the nerf, it's here. Now, Juggernaut. This is another one that not many people use, but is actually pretty solid. This is either going to go in like low A tier or yeah, I think I'm going to put it in high B tier, just because of the fact that it actually no, I consider it like it can be useful, but in my opinion, it's not as useful as something like Kaboom or even Aquarius. But it is more useful than Aerialist, in my opinion. I think this is like bottom B tier. Missile launcher. This either goes in hot garbage or low. I think I'm going to put it in low. I might change that to hot garbage later. And now, Pack-a-Punch. It's pretty standard. It's normal. Honestly, like, Aerialist is better. But I wouldn't say Missile Launcher is better, just because Missile Launcher is hot garbage. Um, Honestly, yeah, I'm going to move that down there. Like, it can be useful and it has its uses, but overall, you're better off with any of the gloves above. Now, POW. This is a high tier glove. POW has many, many uses, and it is the single best anti-teaming glove in the game at the moment. Just because of the hit effect. Whenever you hit someone, it hits all the people around, with, not including you, with 50 power. So even if you don't even loot up, this can decimate a team. And honestly, although I don't think it's like close to S tier, it still is 100% deserving of A tier. Now, Revenge. Honestly, it just kind of sucks. Like the concept would be good, but you don't have enough time to actually go and like slap them back and get your revenge. So it's worse than Juggernaut. But in my opinion, it's actually. Is it better than Pack-a-Punch, or is it? I think I'm honestly putting it worse than Pack-a-Punch now that I think about it, because you're kind of just screwed. You just have 40 power and then an all but useless ability that does almost nothing. Like, it only works if you hit them back immediately after. It doesn't even work if you get hit by, like, more than 60 power, because then you just get hit too far away, and you can't make it back in time to actually use the ability. So overall, Revenge just kind of sucks. If the ability, like, had, like, 70, 75 power, and then you would, like, be able to hit them back, for pretty much forever. Like, the last person to hit you, if you hit them, no matter how long ago it was, then they get hit with like 25, 30 more power. I think that would be a reasonable buff that would put this up in mid tier and make it like all right and actually like somewhat usable. Hot garbage. Tank is hot garbage. Honestly, gonna have to put it. I honestly, tank versus missile launcher is on like up to interpretation. Just like just like some of these, like some of this is personal preference, but all of these are going to be roughly accurate. S tier, like just based on my personal experience as an incredibly good player, is easily like this is S tier. That this is literally all S tier. Now, actually, not Thundercaller first. Thundercaller is a very good glove. It's honestly like a balanced version of Glacier, except one sad part is that you can't use it in certain areas because it'll just go like under under the ground, and that kind of sucks sometimes. But especially because of the fact that it scales with power and can do a crap ton of damage if you get like 80 power, and the fact it stuns. And if you play your cards right, you can guarantee a stun on someone with under 24 speed. Overall, this is very useful, and I would say it is better than POW. Like, definitively better than POW. This isn't even, like, super close. It just is better. Next up, Vampire. Honestly, people, like, this club is underrated. I would put this, like, low A tier, maybe high B tier. Just because of how, good the ability is. The problem is that, the ability requires you to actually be good and, like, get hits on people. So that can suck, but especially if you don't have a lot of healing and you don't have a witch or something, Vampire can be very useful. But it isn't I mean, it might be better than POW sometimes, but overall, I'm gonna have to say, especially because the ability isn't passive. If it was like passive and gave a third of the damage you did as healing, and like you didn't have to activate the ability and it wasn't temporary, I feel like this would be like up here, maybe even here. But overall, currently, it's like here or here. It's basically around POW. Vigorous. It's like high F tier. It's not good at all. And then Void. Void and Cannoneer is like I wouldn't say Void is A tier, definitely not. But I would put it B tier. It is pretty solid, especially for transport. And like if you're teaming, having a Void is quite useful as you can all just travel significantly faster. Granted, Cannoneer can do similar. But overall, Void Glove, in my opinion, is going to be slightly above Cannoneer, though I would understand if you put Cannoneer above Void. And yeah, like there's a couple things like Missile Launcher and Tank or Pack-a-Punch and Revenge that could be up to interpretation, but overall this is a pretty definitive list of all the current Slap Royale gloves up to uh, early February 2024. And yeah, I would recommend using this as like I would recommend using some of these gloves. Maybe try some of these if you like want a challenge or something. But yeah, overall, that's that. And now I'm gonna have to go, and goodbye.